What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Dylan. You're watching Western Farm Garage. First of all, Merry Christmas. I know haven't really uploaded a whole lot the last couple months. I know probably just uploaded the Yamaha Kodiak Part 2 video here about a week ago or so. Actually, at the time of recording, it's still here. Still waiting on that grease for the clutch to come in. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out up here. It's a really cool video. Gives a lot of insight on the whole clutch assembly on these Ultramatic four-wheelers. So if you need some information on that, go check out the video. Today is a cool video because we have the good old Can-Am back up here in the shop. It's a little dirty, you know. She hasn't seen a bath in a while, but it's been raining nonstop, so not really any point in washing it right now. But today is a cool video because we got something cool that's going to be going on it today. So I know about maybe 2 months ago, made a video of me installing a winch on this four-wheeler. As you can see, the one that is on it now, it's just a generic 1,500-pound winch. Now, that's a little small for this application, and it honestly actually doesn't even work. I tried to get it to work. It doesn't work because just the wiring harness isn't correct. So recently, we just had Christmas. I'm filming this about 4 or 5 days after Christmas, and look what I got. We got ourselves a winch, Amazon special. Now, we're going to be installing this, take you guys along in the process, and we're going to see how this thing holds up in the upcoming summer for riding and, you know, all this stuff. It is a Zostera 3500. Basically, it's the same thing as a Harbor Freight winch, but has a little bit of extra goodies in here that does not come with a Harbor Freight winch. So we're going to see the bang for your buck on this thing, right? So get to unboxing this thing and get to taking off the front bumper and all that good stuff. So I'll pick you guys up shortly. All right, we got to working on it a little bit. We got the front rack off. This is something I did not do in the last video because the last video I left the bumper on, and you have to take off this black plastic right here, and made it super difficult to take off that plastic because the bumper was in the way. And it's super easy to take off. You have a T40 here, a T40 here, and then you have 2 half-inch bolts right here. And then the thing literally just slides right off. So take the extra step and just go ahead and take off your front bumper. Makes life a lot easier in the long run. Next, you gotta remove this bottom skid plate. I put my headlamp on so I can actually see what I'm doing, because you gotta remove these 2 half-inch bolts. But these I actually added afterwards because I had to cut one of the other ones, or one of the other ones broke off, I mean. So these are ones that I added, so I'm not sure if they'll be half-inch when you do it, but they're half-inch for me. But anyway, so if you look right in there, I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. There, you can kind of see the head of the bolt right there, right here. My finger's touching it right there. So that's the head of the bolt. For this, that's why having a headlamp on makes this easy, because you can actually see what you're doing under there. So gotta take off these 2, and then you can drop that skid plate. Well, I got that side off. Lo and behold, those threads on the nut on the back side of this one rounded off. Not the threads, the hex rounded off. So I get to cut it off now. Yay. All right, I got it cut. So now that plate comes off, and you can just yank off this plastic. And now you have some more access to your winch. So now to get the winch plate off, you have to undo these 3 bolts actually, because there's supposed to be one here, but you can't actually get to it because the way this winch mounted it was in the way. So just these 3 bolts right here. All right, got the winch out. I had the wires ran up already up to my cluster. So, oh yeah, I forgot I ran these back to the battery too, didn't I? And they're hooked up. Nice, nice. Okay, so I have to actually undo these. Oh, great. So I have to take off these wires because I ran them to the battery, but I don't need them anymore. So I'm just gonna unhook those and pull them out. But you have to take off this side panel right here, probably mostly. Might have to take off the other one, just depends on how the winch actually mounts. I'll see in a minute, but I had to take this off just to get these wires out. And I'll probably end up having to take that other one off too because those wires are ran on that side. But so go ahead and just take both side panels off. Maybe just might make your life a little easier. All right, got the plastic off this side. If you don't know how to take them off, there's a pin there where the plastic has a notch that slides in. A pin goes in there, and then there's a pin back here behind the fuel tank right there at the top of my finger. So you take all those 3 pins out, and then you can literally just pull the entire plastic off. Okay. Oh, I am Spider-Man. Cool. So got the plastic off, and then I got the wires out. So now we're good to go back to the winch and start unboxing this joker. Actually, I kind of want to go pressure wash the dang thing, but it's whatever. So get our winch and let's open it up. All right, we got everything unboxed, and this is what we're looking at. So we have our winch with our fair lead, our rope, little stopper thingamabob, synthetic rope on the winch pre-installed. That's nice. Let's see, we got our new winch mounting bracket. We got our control module right here with 2 wireless remotes. Those are gonna come in handy. We got battery cables, more battery cables, our little tag thingamabob, mounting hardware, our 1 1/4, I think. Something like that. Well, it's a hook. Nice, I mean, good quality it feels like. And we have this, which is actually pretty cool. So this right here is a pulley hook. And this, I don't know if I'll ever actually have a use for this out on the trail, just because, you know, I mean, if I guess if I wanted to detach that hook and then run the line through this one, it just seemed like a whole bunch of extra work. But still cool that it includes it. I wonder what this hardware is for. I guess we do have an instruction manual over there that we can look at. And we have the control switch with all of our little rubber knobs for the electrical connections. So this is what we got going on. So I think first thing we're gonna do, I'm trying to debate whether it'd be easier to mount the control box first and run the wires down here, or do the winch and then run everything up. Decisions. Let me take a gander at this instruction manual real quick, and then I'll get my game plan. All right, I'm back. Skipped ahead a little more. Found a place to mount the control box. No, it's probably gonna be, come on, focus. Right there, here's the control box. So this is the driver's side of the foiler. Here's the power steering motor right here. And there was just a nice clean access place to the frame right here. I don't think the A-arm will hit it, so that's a good thing. So you just gotta drill 2 holes to mount it in the frame, right there and right there. And then I ran the blue wire over, so that's the negative. So ran it over. It runs basically right behind the winch. Very good design on Can-Am's part. Jesus, I cannot keep a hold of my phone. So if you look down in there, there's the focusing on the shock. So there's like a little hole in the subframe right there, and I just run the wire back behind the frame. That way there's a little bit less cable management, and then back over. and it goes on this one right here. So gotta get one of these little rubber boots and throw it on. I forgot to put the one on the winch, so gotta put the one on the winch real quick, and then I'll do the same thing with this yellow wire right here. It will run in the same direction back down to the winch, because that will be the positive for the winch. All right, so we got the yellow one connected, the blue one connected with their stupid rubber grommets on the connections. Negative, positive on the winch. Everything's kind of ran pretty well, to be honest. Just trying to get this stuff back up in there a little bit, that way it doesn't show as much. It'll be fine. It'll be mostly behind the fender well covers anyway. And then I got the positive and negative from the battery ran. So getting it under here is probably the hardest part to do, because this plastic doesn't like to move. But I shoved the negative under here, and I got it routed under in there. I don't know how well y'all be able, you probably can't see nothing, but, and then this one, the positive, I ran through this little port right here on the plastic, ran it behind. It goes all the way out, behind the shift linkage, goes up over the coolant hoses, and then right here, I have it go around to the other side where my control box is mounted. And here we are. So now, just gotta connect these two to here, and then that's it. Well, that's not it, but that's it for the wiring. Well, no, that's not it for the wiring, because we still gotta plug in the switch, which plugs into right here. Let's go ahead and get these, this positive and negative hooked up. All right, back. Later on in the night, had to call it quits. Had some plans to take care of during the day, but we're back. We got the positive and the negative hooked up, and we have our switch plugged in. Has a red wire that runs all the way back to the battery. I jumpered it just to make sure it works before I ran all these wires. And lo and behold, we got in and out. So now we have a working winch. So now I can go ahead and route this wiring properly, which probably gonna route this wire, the blue one, the same way I ran the others, just on that side of the four-wheeler. So, and I will run this one, the actual switch itself, up here and run it down through this little spot. So I'm gonna take care of all that real quick. I'll pick you guys back up in a second. What's up, guys? I'm back. It's about 2 days later. I kind of got a little pressed for time last night. Had to leave, but this is what we got going on. So we got the switch mounted up. I got it right here. I'm not sure if I like it right there just yet. I might move it eventually, because I mean, I can move it really anywhere I want. But I got the switch written down. It runs down here to the control box. I've got it all zip tied up already, so that way there's no wires flopping everywhere. Ran that blue wire across and ran it up in here with the other two power wires. Ran it up here to the positive, so now it's good. I got all this zip tied, just got to cut those little ends. And it is pretty much working. So, pretty successful. I managed to get all this put on last night, or not last night, but the other night as well. I got the fair lead put on, which is fairly simple. It's just two 13mm bolts that comes in the kit. Fairly simple. And then this one's got 4 10mm nuts with some Allen head keys. I'm not sure the size of the Allen head, because I was using this thing, and this thing doesn't really give me any sizes. It just has a whole assortment of Allen keys on it. But got this thing put on, so that thing's ready to go now. So the fair lead and all that stuff is done. I got the bumper and front plastic put back on as well. Just used 2 new 13mm bolts for the bottom part. I didn't put this plate back on just because I didn't really feel like it. And plus I mean, that's still pretty good. I mean, I don't think anything's gonna happen to under there. And yeah, and got the rack put back on, 2 half-inch bolts right there. And I got the T40 hex head screws back in, so now the rack is mounted up there proper again. So now all we really have left to do is to get the fender wells put back on and tidy up all of our zip ties and stuff, and that's pretty much it. And that would be a successful winch install, and then we're going to go test it out and see what all it can actually do. So I'm going to get these side panels put back on. Pretty straightforward for the most part. They kind of just attach together right there. Once you have them behind the shock, they attach together with the push pin clips, and then there's little spots everywhere under here where they clip to the frame and the rest of the plastic body. So I'm gonna get that taken care of real quick, and then I will pick you guys back up in a second. All right, got all the side panels put back on. Got a assortment of clips because I have a tendency of losing clips when I take them off. So I got a whole assortment of them because I kind of just pop them off and then leave them lying everywhere around the shop. So I just bought a whole tray of them, so in that case, if I'm missing some, I can just replace them. But got all the side panels back on, just a few plastic clips, which this one's not all the way in. It's actually wasn't even in the other side. Cool. So see if I can get this one in there real quick. There we go, got it. Now, there we go. Now it's in there. Cool. All right. So, got all those put on both sides. Like that. Really needs a wash under there. I probably should have washed this thing before I even started working on it, but whatever. So yeah, and the control box for the winch is actually completely hidden. Like, you can't see it at all. Like, my finger's on it right here. Like, if you bent down, you could see it, because you can see the wires through the hole right there. There it is, but completely hidden. So I'm very pleased. The only wires that are actually going to show is going to be the ones that are on the actual winch itself. So I'm very pleased with that. But now we're going to take some little snips and cut off all of the zip tie ends like this. Simply just snip, snip, so sort of snip, okay, and snip. All right, so now we can just throw the side panels back on. And like I mentioned earlier, it's just 3 clips for those. One right there, one right there, and one right there behind the fuel tank. And same exact thing on the other side. So I'm gonna get all these side panels thrown on real fast, and then we're gonna go test the winch out. All right, got all the side panels put back on. Everything, I think, is done. I think I've got the winch completely installed. Everything down to the wiring harness, completely buttoned up and hidden. The only wire you really see is this one, because it goes from the winch cable, which I actually have to make sure that this will fully lock and not pull the cable, which doesn't look like it is. Oh, uh-oh, that's a problem. Knew I'd find something eventually. See, the winch remote hits the plastic when you turn. So we have to figure out something else for that. So give me a second. All right. Oh, my chain's just outside my, okay. All right, so we're back, and I ended up doing something a little bit different. So the bolt and nut on this was kind of cheap, and the brackets themselves were also cheap, and it was kind of just like, I don't know, when I would tighten it down, it would never really get tight. Like, the switch would still be able to wiggle on the handlebar. So what I did
was I just got rid of this completely, tossed it, and I was just left with the switch and this bracket right here. So what I ended up doing was right here on the front of the reservoir, the front brake reservoir, this little bracket right here that goes from the switch over here to the mounting bracket for the reservoir, I just drilled this bracket out, this hole, to 15/64, which is the exact size for this bolt right here, and then I just bolted it onto there, and then so the wire right here is also kind of keeping it from moving down at all, but it's like super tight on there now. Like you can move it side to side a little bit, but you aren't moving that anywhere. And I also ended up having to rewire it. I had to rerun the wires because the way I had them ran, it was a little tight, so every time I would turn the wheel, this wire would start pulling on the switch and mess it up, and I just went ahead and redid the whole thing. But now I've got it all put back together, because before I had it ran like straight under here through this little plastic, and that didn't really look as good. I didn't really like it, so I went the extra step. This little piece right here pulls off. I just cut the zip ties that were here for the existing wiring harness, and then I zip tied this one in, and I ran everything through the little hole where all the rest of the wires go down here through the steering column, and then ran it down there. So now we're good. It doesn't pull on the switch anymore. So now the install is officially done. So that is what it looks like on the four-wheeler. Everything is still nice and tucked away and hidden. So now we're gonna go give it a little bit of a test spin, see if this winch actually lives up to its rating. So I will pick you guys back up when I find something to pull. All right, we're here. I found this big log that we're currently splitting. And we're gonna see if the winch can move it. If the winch can move it, I'm gonna say that's a success. We got the winch line wrapped around the log. Let's see what happens. It's pulling the four-wheeler. No. There we go. It's right now. It's still pulling the four-wheeler. Well, it's pulling the four-wheeler with the parking brake on and the front brakes locked. So, hey, it's pretty good. Let me see what happens if I put it in reverse and then activate the winch. I have no clue if y'all will be able to see this or not. Yeah, that log is just very heavy, but it's pulling the entire four-wheeler towards it, so. All right, so let's try something else, because I don't think it's gonna move this log. All right, got it spooled back in. Now let's go see if we can find a tree to winch ourselves up, and we'll see if it can pick up the front of the four-wheeler. There we go. That looks like a good prime suspect right there. Cool. So now I'm gonna see if I can throw it over this tree limb. All right, we got it wrapped around the tree limb. Now I'm gonna start it, that way it doesn't like drain my battery. And then we're gonna see if it winches the four-wheeler up. Okay, we'll cut the four-wheeler off once it starts picking it up, that way it doesn't starve it of oil. Oh, it's on free spool. I'm stupid. Oh, there we go. All right. Cut the four-wheeler off, that way it doesn't kill the battery or starve it of oil. Ooh. Hey, dang good right there. Look at that thing. She's tooted, son. Works pretty dang well. Not even like a beat. Doesn't skip nothing. Front wheels are fully up in the air. There, I mean, I'm 5'11" and a half, and the wheels are up to my chest. So I got the wheels at least 4 feet off the ground. Look at that. I say that's pretty successful right there. Let's let her back down. Alright. Turn, wherever it's at. Turn free spool back on. That way I can just pull this thing out and let the hook come down. Like this. And bam, now we got the hook. Now we can just take the hook off. There we go. Throw it back over the tree. Oh no, don't hit me. There we go. And then spool it back in like nothing ever happened. Ugh. Oh, I put myself on logs. I wasn't even paying attention to that. There we go. Ugh. And now we just spool the sucker back in, which I got to do it with 2 hands because I spool mine in like that motion. That way it spools in there evenly. But I'd say that's a pretty successful winch install right there. A working winch install. So far, looks promising. I mean, it winched my foiler completely up the tree, and it didn't even seem like it struggled. So I'm impressed with the Amazon winch, not gonna lie. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out future videos. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know how you like the video. Make sure to smash the thumbs up button. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.